The glittering lights of the Busan International Film Festival painted the coastal city in cinematic hues. From breeze coming from Hyundai Beach mixed with the sharp flashes of cameras. And the atmosphere outside the Busan Cinema Center was charged with anticipation. Fans pressed against the barricades, holding placards with the names of their favorite stars. The arrival of Hyun Bin, alongside Son Ye-jin, instantly ignited the red carpet with electric excitement. Though Hyun Bin was not part of the cast of No Other Choice, his presence carried symbolic weight. The festival had already become one of Asia's most prestigious cinematic events. And as Son Ye-jin walked alongside Lee Byung Hun, her co-star, the crowd witnessed a union of legends. But it was Hyun Bin's words during a later press interview at the Seoul Dragon City Hotel in Yongsan that created a ripple of affection and amusement throughout the entertainment world. With his signature smile, he admitted that he felt a little jealous watching his wife share the screen with Lee Byung Hun. The confession came not as a scandalous statement but as a playful revelation. One that showcased the tender bond between husband and wife while also highlighting Hyun Bin's ability to laugh at himself. When I read the script and saw how close the two characters would become, I have to admit I felt a bit jealous, he said, leaning back with a chuckle as reporters erupted into laughter. But it's the kind of jealousy that reminds you how much you care. Not something dark or bitter. His words traveled quickly across Korean media outlets and spilled into international news feeds, resonating with fans who saw in him not just the charismatic star of Crash Landing on You but a devoted partner who was unafraid to reveal vulnerability in a sweet, human way. No Other Choice itself had already generated buzz well before its release. Directed by veteran filmmaker Han Ji-woo, the movie explored themes of impossible decisions, loyalty, and the blurred line between duty and desire. Much of the film had been shot across striking locations, narrow alleyways and neon lights of Seoul, the windswept cliffs and beaches of Jeju Island, and select scenes in Tokyo that provided an international flair. In this dramatic canvas, Son Ye-jin played the protagonist, a woman caught between personal duty and moral dilemmas, while Lee Byung Hun portrayed a man whose path collided with hers in ways both tender and tragic. The film's emotional intensity demanded closeness between its leads, a fact not lost on Hyun Bin as he watched dailies and heard stories from the set. Behind the glamour of film promotion, the couple's dynamic offered heartwarming anecdotes. During one of the Jeju shoots, Hyun Bin visited the set quietly, keeping to the background as the crew worked through a demanding night sequence. A staff member later shared that he was warm and friendly, joking with Lee Byung Hun about how much responsibility he bore acting opposite his wife. Lee Byung Hun, a seasoned actor with decades of experience, responded with a playful bow and a grin, "Don't worry. Take care of her well." The exchange captured the supportive atmosphere that defined the project and underlined that Hyun Bin's so-called jealousy was never antagonistic but endearingly light. At the official press conference following the world premiere in Busan, Son Ye-jin herself responded with grace and humor. Standing under the bright lights of the Busan Exhibition and Convention Center, she smiled at her husband's candid words. "He always teases. But I know he is proud of the work. His support means everything to me," she said. The audience, made up of international journalists and Korean fans alike, broke into applause. It became clear that this was not the kind of behind-the-scenes drama tabloids love to exaggerate but rather an authentic expression of affection in one of the industry's most beloved marriages. As the news spread, social media became awash with clips of Hyun Bin's smile and Son Ye-jin's reaction. Fans from Seoul to Los Angeles, Tokyo to Jakarta, tweeted and posted about how refreshing it was to see a superstar admit to feeling jealous in such an innocent, tender way. One fan commented, "The kind of love everyone wants, the kind where even jealousy feels cute and warm." Another wrote, "Hyun Bin just redefined relationship goals." Such reactions underscored the difference between destructive jealousy and playful honesty, a distinction that added depth to Hyun Bin's persona. Later that week, at a smaller promotional event at the Four Seasons Hotel in Seoul, Hyun Bin elaborated on his feelings during a more intimate Q&A, with laughter echoing from the audience. Explained, "I suppose every husband would feel the same if he saw his wife working so closely with another man, especially someone as talented and charming as Lee Byung Hun. At the end of the day, it makes me respect her even more as an actress." These remarks not only humanized him further but also strengthened the image of his marriage as one grounded in trust and admiration. In many ways, The story of Hyun Bin's confession became as captivating as the narrative of No Other Choice itself. It turned press junkets and red carpets into stages for sincerity and love, reminding audiences that behind the dazzling veneer of the Korean entertainment industry are real human emotions. His comments added an unexpected but heartwarming subplot to the film's promotional journey, ensuring that even those unfamiliar with the film would pay attention to the headlines. And as the Busan lights dimmed and the cast traveled back to Seoul for further promotions, the echo of Hyun Bin's words continued to ripple. Audience is something they rarely receive in such a glamorous world, honesty wrapped in humor. The following month saw the cast and crew of No Other Choice gather once more, this time at the Lotte Cinema World Tower in Seoul, one of the most iconic theaters in the capital. The event was buzzing with fans eager to catch a glimpse of their idols. But once again it was the playful triangle of Hyun Bin, Son Ye-jin, and Lee Byung-hun that captivated the public imagination. Chemistry between the stars on stage felt effortless. Questions turned once again to Hyun Bin's admission of jealousy. Lee Byung-hun couldn't resist teasing back. "I promise," he said into the microphone, "I didn't make him too jealous." The audience roared with amusement, while Son Ye-jin gently placed a hand over her mouth, hiding a smile. The easy camaraderie between the three stars turned what could have been an awkward subject into a moment of shared humor. At the after-party held at the Paradise Hotel Busan during another leg of the festival circuit, guests remarked how refreshing it was to see major celebrities embracing such openness. Industry insiders shared stories of Hyun Bin congratulating Lee Byung-hun warmly, showing nothing but respect for his co-star. This combination of professionalism and personal warmth that set the tone for the entire promotional campaign. In private interviews, Ye-jin added her perspective. "Hyun Bin has always been incredibly supportive," she explained. "Yes, he teases me. But I know he is proud. That's why his words meant so much to people. Saw a side of him that we, as a family, see every day," her words, delivered at an exclusive sit-down with a Japanese magazine in a suite at the Four Seasons Seoul, reinforced the narrative that the marriage between the two stars was built on mutual trust and playfulness. The notion of jealousy in this context resonated far beyond the film industry. Cultural critics began to write essays on how Hyun Bin's confession marked a shift in the way Korean masculinity was being portrayed. Instead of stoic silence or defensive bravado, there was a global star admitting vulnerability, but doing so in a way that highlighted love rather than insecurity. One columnist noted, "Country where public figures are often expected to maintain a flawless image. Hyun Bin's words show that even the most admired actors are human, and that humanity is what makes them more loved." As the promotional tour wound its way back to Jeju Island for a special fan screening, the narrative deepened. Jeju Arts Center welcomed audiences with its intimate setting, and Hyun Bin, though not on stage, spotted in the crowd. Fans noticed his presence and applauded warmly. Later, asked by a reporter why he attended, he simply replied, "I wanted to see how audiences reacted to the film. It's my wife's hard work. I want to be part of that moment." His answer once again reinforced the tenderness that lay beneath the earlier confession. The dynamic between Lee Byung-hun and Hyun Bin became a highlight of many conversations. At one dinner following the Tokyo promotional event at the Shinjuku Wall 9 Cinema, Lee Byung-hun reportedly raised a glass and said, "To Hyun Bin, the only man who can make jealousy look this charming." The table erupted in laughter. Photographs of the moment quickly circulated online, further feeding the story of camaraderie rather than rivalry. By the time the film wrapped up its Asian promotional circuit, the playful jealousy story had become an inseparable part of the movie's identity. For audiences, No Other Choice was no longer just about the characters' moral dilemmas, but also about the tender off-screen relationship that accompanied its release. Fans began creating edits and fan art showing Hyun Bin smiling while Son Ye-jin and Lee Byung-hun posed together, often captioned with affectionate quotes. Final gala dinner at the Paradise Hotel Busan. The entire cast gathered for a celebratory toast. The room was adorned with elegant chandeliers, the ocean waves outside faintly audible through the windows. Hyun Bin, standing beside Son Ye-jin, raised his glass and said, "To friendship, to cinema, and to love that survives everything, even playful jealousy." Filled with applause. And in that moment, it became clear that the narrative had come full circle. Months that followed, No Other Choice would be remembered not only for its gripping storyline and stellar performances, but also for the charming subplot of Hyun Bin's confession. It proved that vulnerability could be celebrated. Humor could disarm tension, and that love, expressed sincerely, could transform even jealousy into something beautiful. From the bright red carpet of Busan to the intimate interviews in Seoul, from the breezy cliffs of Jeju to the bustling streets of Tokyo, the journey of this film was intertwined with one man's candid honesty. And in the end, Hyun Bin's playful revelation ensured that No Other Choice was more than just another cinematic release. It was a cultural moment, a love story behind the love story, a reminder that the world still craves sincerity wrapped in laughter.